Now your work through here would look a little bit different if you tried to make everything mixed numbers. For example, here when we got the 25/8, you could have, if you'd like, changed that back to a mixed number and then added it to the 2/3, but you would have still had to have gotten a common denominator. So I think the way we did it in this particular case is probably the quickest way. Now I'd like for you to do some practice problems in which you have to use the rule for order of operations. The first one is the expression 2 2/3 plus 1/3, then that expression squared divided by 3. The second one is 3/5 plus 1/4 times the expression 2 minus 2/5. The third one is 7/9 minus 1/3 plus 1/2 divided by 2/5 times 4/5. Copy your problems down and stop the tape to work them. Here are the answers to the practice problems. Number 1 is 3. Number 2, 1. Number 3, 13/9, or 1 4/9. Let's look at one more example that has two symbols of inclusion. In this case, we have a parentheses and then we have a bracket too. Remember, when that happens, you work within the innermost symbol first, so we'd have to do the 2/3 divided by 2. Now this problem is so long we don't have too much room on the side to work it, so we'll try to work, in most cases, it in the problem as we go. So I'm going to write my 18 down, my bracket, my 1, my minus, and then when I come to the parentheses, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 under that 2. So now I'm going to change it to 2/3 times 1/2. Now keep my exponent. That exponent goes with that parentheses, and I can't do it till I finish the parentheses. I need to write my bracket back, a -6, and divided by the 3/4. So since I've changed this to multiplying, I'm ready to do it, and I want to reduce my 2's. So if I copy everything back down again, I'm left with 1 times 1, which is 1, and 3 times 1, which is 3. So I'm left with 1/3. Still have the exponent of 2, still have the bracket. Write the rest of it down, -6 divided by 3/4. So I'm still inside my bracket, and since I've finished with my parentheses inside of my brackets, I'm now ready to do my exponent in there. So I'll keep writing the 18 out here, keep writing the 1 minus. Now I can do my 1/3 squared. What that means is 1/3 is a factor twice, or 1/3 times 1/3, which gives me 1/9. So I'm going to go ahead and write down 1/9. Now my squared is gone, and I have -6 divided by the 3/4. Now I'm finally ready to do what's inside of the brackets, which is the 1 minus 1/9. And I'm going to need to come over to the side to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and make the 1 an improper fraction and make it 1/1, and then the 1/9. So if I make it an improper fraction, I've got to get a common denominator, which would be 9. I'd have to multiply by 9 and by 9, so I'll get 9/9 minus the 1/9 and that's going to leave me with 8/9. So that's what goes, you can sort of separate this from the problem. That's what goes inside of that bracket. So I have 18 times 8/9 minus 6 divided by 3/4. Now I've finally gotten my answer inside of that bracket. So now I'm ready to move outside the bracket and look at my operation. So what this actually is 18 times 8/9, because the 18 is right up against that, minus 6 divided by 3/4. Well, if we keep doing things in the right order, we've gotten rid of all of our parentheses and our brackets and our exponents, so now we're ready to multiply and divide from left to right. So we just need to do this multiplication here, 18 times 8/9. So I'm going to do it right here in the problem, since I don't have a lot of room on the side. So I'm going to do 18 over 1 times 8/9. To do that, I need to reduce 9 into 9, 1, 9 into 18, 2. So that's going to give me, excuse me, lose the whole problem here. That's going to give us 16 over 1 minus 6 divided by 3/4. Well, 16 over 1 is just 16. I think it'd be easier if we went ahead and just put the 16 down there. So we'd have 16 minus 6 divided by 3/4. Now, we can't do that 16 minus 6 because we can't do our adding and subtraction until we finish doing our multiplying and dividing. So we've got to do this 6 divided by 3/4. So I'm going to need to put a 1 back under here, so I'm going to need the improper fractions anyway. And it's going to be 16 minus, and I'm going to do 6 over 1 times the 4/3. So if I reduce, 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. That would leave us with 16 minus, it's going to be 8 over 1, which is just going to be 8. So I'm just going to put 16 minus 8. So finally, after a lot of hard work, we come up with an answer of 8. So as you see, we went through a whole lot of steps to get to that answer of 8. But each individual step was just following our rules for order and our rules for fractions. This concludes our lesson 14, in which we've been raising fractions to powers and using our rule for the order of operations as we worked with fractions.